Okay, welcome along, Emilio. Thank you very much for joining us and agreeing to talk about your experience of languages and languages in the workplace. So first of all, could you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, lovely to meet you. So I'm Emilio. Obviously, judging by the name, I'm half Spanish, half English. So my dad, who I believe you met actually, is English from Southampton, and my mum is from Madrid. So I'm 26. I currently live in Barcelona, and yeah, happy to have this interview.
Good stuff. Okay, and can you tell us what you studied at university?
Yes, so I went to university in Leicester. I studied modern languages and business. So it's sort of a three-way course. I took a bit of the easy way out and did Spanish as part of it. I grew up bilingual, speaking Spanish at home with my mum. So I did Spanish as part of it, and then French, and then business. Obviously, the Spanish grade was sort of higher, the business grade was a bit lower, and the equaled out. So yeah.
Very good, good. Okay, so what is your current job? What are you doing at the moment?
Yeah, so I currently work in sales. I'm an account manager here in Barcelona at a company called Nutanix. It's a software company. I actually started in Paris, and then they offered me the opportunity to transfer over to the office in Barcelona. The reason why I was living in Paris is because I did a year abroad at university. So I did half of it in Mexico and half of it in Paris. I'd done an internship in Paris, really liked the city, then went back after university to do a master's in Paris. And then basically in France, to finish a master's, you have to do an internship. So I did this internship at my current company. They offered me the full-time position afterwards. I took it, and that was when there was a change of contract, change of location, and I moved to Barcelona.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Okay. So in terms of your job at the moment, can you talk us through what a normal day looks like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in sales, so it sort of encompasses being very persistent and having a lot to do. So basically, I work for a company called Nutanix, as I mentioned, and it's essentially a vendor. So to put that in words of someone who isn't in the IT environment, it would be like imagine Nutella, that would be a vendor, and then we always sell via partners, and a partner could be thought of as a Tesco's, for example, or Sainsbury's. And then you've got distribution in between who do all the shipping and stuff like that. And then you've got the customer who could be in this example with Nutella, could be me or you going into Tesco's and buying it. So most IT vendors use that strategy of going via partners. So my day to day is liaising with partners to sell Nutanix software to customers. Customers can be anyone in public sector. It can be schools, for example. It can be colleges. It can be, I mean, anything really. Literally anything. I mean, everywhere you go, such as a supermarket, there will always be a hidden room in the background that no one ever goes into, where there's all these IT servers and kit, and essentially, Nutanix could be living in that.
Right. Fantastic. So in terms of what you or how you use your languages on a day-to-day basis, obviously living abroad, that's important. But to what extent has that affected your ability to do your job?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't mention, but I'm currently an account manager for the UK and I, which is UK and Ireland, and Spain. So I have accounts in both countries. So also in Barcelona, there's a lot of this as well within the tech industry, but there's a hub, which means that there's people from all over Europe working in Barcelona for my company, and there's quite a few companies doing that. So how I use language in my daily life, well, Spanish and English, speaking to customers and partners. And then around the office, there's Germans, there's French people, there's Italians, and I mean, I speak French, having lived in Paris. I speak German as well, more or less. Not as good as my French, but I speak some German too. So, I mean, just having a bit of banter around the office with the French people, with the Germans, Italian. I try my best. Obviously, the Spanish helps, but so yeah, how I use languages is basically to communicate with customers and communicate with colleagues.
Absolutely. So critical, essential for your role. I imagine you couldn't have got there without it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I couldn't have. It's amazing, and the opportunities it's opened up for me through having both the Spanish and English, of which I speak fluently, but also the French, because the company obviously sees you as such an asset, having that adaptability and being so flexible. But when, for example, someone goes on maternity leave, paternity leave from the French market, I couldn't do it full time, but temporarily doing some activity in French, you really do become an invaluable asset to the company. So I think that's given me the opportunity to grow through the company and yeah, really to be more valuable to them.
Yeah. I understand it was your company that suggested that you learn German, is that correct?
No, my dad's probably told you that, hasn't he? So they were very keen for it. That they were keen. So basically, I started the internship in Paris, but it was all remote at the time because it was during COVID. So I had a good friend that I met when I was living in Mexico during Erasmus, and I wanted to leave Paris. I'd had enough of it. 2 years living there. I wanted to move to Cologne, and yeah, my company said, "Brilliant. Well, if you're going to learn German through doing that, or at least learn some German, then we'll be happy for you to move to Cologne." So yeah, they were very keen for me to do that.
Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so a couple of questions that are quite niche then, quite specific to your job. What is the hardest thing that you have had to do in your workplace?
Um, I'd probably say moving to Barcelona. I mean, it was obviously an amazing move, and I was very happy to move to Barcelona, but it was sort of slightly forced upon me to move to Barcelona because there was a new hub opening up, the new European hub, and they wanted everyone in the Paris office or some of the people in the Paris office to move to the Barcelona office. So yeah, they told me to move to the Barcelona office. In the end, it worked out really well. But yeah, obviously moving to a new city, not knowing anyone. I've done it in the past, but it's always a challenge that you obviously relish. But there's hard parts that come with it, and obviously good parts. But then I don't know, just the day-to-day selling isn't easy. I'd say that. Speaking to customers that don't want to speak to you, cold calling. Luckily, I'm not cold calling anymore, but I think an entry position in sales is always being on the phone, cold calling, and you get called everything under the sun, to be honest. So,
Okay, fantastic. And what is the coolest thing that you've done in your job or as part of your experience of learning languages?
yeah. So, I mean, where I have accounts in the UK, customers in the UK, I'd say the coolest thing is the amount I get to travel. So I get to go back to the UK, stay in hotels. Recently, I was in Manchester and Leeds. Always a good experience to be up north. Also, I
Yeah.
get to, yeah. Sorry, it cut out.
You're from Manchester, so that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, yeah. And then also I get to go to Vegas once a year, which is really cool. So, I mean, once again, the languages are invaluable there because when you're in Vegas, the whole company's in Vegas. So the relationships that you can build with people through languages, I mean, it helps massively. I mean, the people who are high up within Europe, French, for example, a lot of them, not everyone, but the language facilitates, and obviously they speak English, but when they see that you can speak French to them, I don't know, you become a bit more memorable, and then who knows? Does that mean that you'll get the promotion? Maybe, maybe not, but it definitely plants a seed in their mind, and helps. I think every little helps. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what is the best bit about speaking your languages? You can include all of those, German and Italian included if you want to.
I wouldn't say I can speak Italian. I can say a few words, but yeah, I'd say the best thing is just the experiences I've had, the friendships I've made. I've travelled a lot, and honestly, like I've got some really good friends that are French, that are Italian, that are German, from all over, and I think just how much it's opened doors for me, the opportunities it's given me. Yeah, I'd say just languages are amazing. I mean, they really do just open doors for everyone and allow you to communicate with people. And I always say that the best thing about knowing languages, especially living in Barcelona where it's quite multicultural and there's a lot of tourism, is when a French person comes up to me and they can't speak Spanish, they can't speak English. The French are not great with languages like the English either. And then suddenly I can speak back to them in French, and then you walk off and you just have that feel good factor. You think, I've been able to facilitate that conversation. I've just been able to help this person who's lost, whatever the situation is. So yeah, it's just that constant feel good factor. And when you are learning languages as well, especially if you are in that country of the language that you're learning, it's just a constant everyday slight improvement, and you really do see it as an upward trajectory in the learning path, or the learning curve. And it's just, yeah, you really do feel good about it.
Oh, fantastic. And what advice do you have for young people who think that language learning is not necessary anymore?
I'd say it's completely wrong. I'd say you need to go for it. You need to go for it. The amount of fun that you'll have in your life if you learn languages, and then I mean, obviously the the traveling part is important with that as well. But just go for it. I mean, it really will help you in so many ways. I mean, living in a different country, for example, learning the language, you'll develop so much as a person. You'll have so much fun. You'll probably get a girlfriend or boyfriend, and you know, like, who knows, you might have a long term thing. And yeah, it's just so much fun, and I'd recommend it to anyone.
Brilliant. Okay. So last question. If you could sum up language learning in 5 words exactly, what would they be?
I'd say it's a journey. It's door opening. It's an opportunity. It's interesting, and just experiences. Yeah. And I think it's just, sorry, I should have said it in the last question, but it's just you really do become a more interesting person. Like when you speak more languages, and I don't know, you're just in the room, you don't know anyone, and then you just get onto the topic that everyone's so interested in it, and not enough people are able to do it in the UK. But when you suddenly say like, "Oh, I can speak Spanish," it's like, "Whoa, you can speak Spanish!" Like you just
Yeah,
become more cultural, you become more interesting, you develop a side of your brain that you probably didn't have before. So no, just go for it.
brilliant. That's a fantastic way to end. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Pleasure.